The Wendigo legend comes from the traditions of several Algonquian-speaking peoples across northern North America. These stories were told in regions that today include parts of Canada, Minnesota, Ontario, and Quebec. And these places share something important: extremely long winters. In some areas, winter could last 6 months or more. Snow covered the ground, lakes froze solid, food became scarce. Entire communities sometimes faced starvation. And when starvation becomes extreme, something terrifying begins to happen inside the human mind. People start thinking about survival in ways they normally never would, which is exactly the moment the Wendigo legend was meant to stop. In traditional stories, a Wendigo doesn't begin as a monster in the woods. It begins as a human being, someone who either commits cannibalism during a famine or becomes consumed by extreme greed and hunger. Once that line is crossed, something changes. The person slowly transforms into a Wendigo. But the transformation reflects what they've become inside. The creature is often described as extremely thin, emaciated, skeletal, its skin stretched tightly over its bones. And no matter how much it eats, it's never satisfied. In many versions of the legend, every time the Wendigo devours another victim, its body grows larger, but its hunger grows even faster, which means every meal only makes the next one inevitable, an endless curse of starvation. This is what makes the Wendigo legend so disturbing. It's not really about a monster, it's about losing your humanity. The Wendigo represents what happens when survival instinct becomes something darker, when hunger turns into obsession, when greed replaces community. In fact, historians have recorded something even stranger. There were cases in northern communities of a condition known as Wendigo psychosis. People experiencing it believed they were turning into a Wendigo. They felt an uncontrollable urge to eat human flesh, even when food was available. Whether this was psychological illness, cultural influence, or misunderstanding is still debated, but the existence of these cases shows how powerful the legend was. Because the Wendigo wasn't just a story, it was a warning. And in some traditions, the fear of the Wendigo went even further. If someone in a community was believed to be turning into one, the situation could become deadly. Some stories describe elders or spiritual leaders being forced to kill the person before the transformation was complete, not because they were monsters yet, but because the community believed they soon would be. Now compare that to the idea of a werewolf. In most stories, werewolves transform because of a curse, a bite, or the full moon. The person loses control. They become something else temporarily. But the Wendigo is different. A Wendigo transformation happens because someone crossed a moral line. They chose survival at the cost of their humanity. And once that line is crossed, there is no cure. The Wendigo legend wasn't created just to describe a monster. It was created to prevent one. Because during the worst winters, when food disappeared and survival became desperate, the greatest danger wasn't the forest. It was the people around you. And according to the legend, the moment someone puts their own survival